Okay. What's going on, LBHT crew? B, what is going on?
A whole lot of nothing.
A whole lot of nothing. And your boy, I'm gonna be real with y'all tonight, man. I'm sure you can hear my voice. I got hit with the cold bug. I'm hurting. I was a game time decision tonight, but took a little bit of Mucinex, drank lots of water. Make sure you drink your water, folks. Okay, if you know me, I'm a big advocator of staying hydrated, especially in the summertime. Drinking fluids when you're sick too also helps cut down on your sickness time. So drink your water. Got my water here in my nice lunch break hot take mug. Okay, get you one of those. LBHTShow.com/shop. Shout out to the crew. Okay, Demon Low, what's going on? Thanks for coming through, man. Appreciate you. Look, Yolanda B, as always, coming here and supporting.
What's up,
She says, good evening, LBHT family. Hope everyone is well. Yeah, shout out to you. Bio Bamila. I'm sorry, I messed that up. He said, what's good, y'all? Thanks for coming through. MJ, man, you guys are killing me today. I just told you I was sick. MJ Dubzot, what's good? Our guy Hendo from Ravens Online Gatekeepers. How close are we to 1,000, Hendo? Listen, if he hasn't hit 1,000 yet, we are very close. I need you, if you have not done so yet. I know most of you have, but go over there, Ravens Online Gatekeepers, hit that subscribe button. And if you subscribe, you go and grab your loved ones. Say, loved ones, do you love me? You do? I need you to go over to my man Hendo's channel right now. Ravens Online Gatekeepers. Get this man to 1,000 tonight. Yes. Tonight. Okay. You want to know what's going to help me feel better quickly? Getting my man Hendo to 1,000 subscribers.
20 away.
20 away. 20 away. Let's do it. Okay. And our man D Weezy is here. What's up, D Weezy? We got our guy Dave on hashtag LBHT crew. Yes, indeed. Yes, King 95 is here.
King, how you doing, man?
We got Garnett in here early. What's up, Garnett?
What's up, Garnett?
Thanks for coming through. Yes. MJ says it's Matt. Just call me MJ. hey, that helps. Thank you, MJ. Thank you. I appreciate you. And we won't forget that because we don't like butchering names around here. No. And shout out to Danity. What's up, Danity? Thanks for coming through, and Raven Ron as well. Look, yes. What up? Go! Oh, hey, they're on a win streak, right?
Yeah, they're on a 9-game win streak, which brings them to 5th in the division. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of hearing about it, man.
Listen. Baby steps. We don't talk a lot of baseball here, but hey, I'm always happy to hear about the O's winning. Okay, so
505th in the division, and they Orioles fans out here like, we winning a World Series in 4 years.
Do you know how bad they were last year? They were bad. They were really bad.
Yeah.
So look. Hey, it is what it is, man. Shout out to them. Shout out to Eric.
What's up,
appreciate
Eric?
you coming through. It says greetings, everyone. No, all is most excellent. Glad to join another most excellent session with LBHT. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Look, it's a slow look. This is actually the calm before the storm, right? There's not a whole lot to talk about right now. But what, next week, or the week after, that's when training camps start to ramp up. So there's gonna be a whole lot to talk about. But we do have some stuff to talk about tonight. We have to talk about listen. I didn't put in the title because I just didn't want to do it. But you guys, you fall for clickbait. Lamar Jackson not top 10. What? We'll discuss that a little bit. We'll discuss Lamar Jackson. I know you guys were wondering, but Orlando Brown. I did see that people were talking about it today. Orlando Brown wants $25 million from the Chiefs. I think he's going to get it. And people were talking like we fleeced the Chiefs somehow. Like Orlando Brown didn't perform well for them at left tackle. And they act like our line was a Swiss cheese last year. But we'll discuss that. Did the Ravens win that trade with the Chiefs for Orlando Brown? Okay. Also, Kyrie Irving, all of a sudden he's got to change the heart, B. Or he never asked for a trade. That's what they're saying. So we'll work all that out in a second. We got some other news we're going to get to, but first we like to start every show with a Black History fact, and B has a Black History fact for you.
Yeah, so considering one of the big topics for the show tonight is Orlando Brown, who is currently on the franchise tag and not able to come to an agreement. And, kind of the ongoing talks with Lamar Jackson as well about whether or not he's going to get a long-term deal, if he's going to end up playing on the franchise tag. I figured, why not go back into some recent history all the way back to 1993 when the franchise tag came into existence. The league had been had been operating without a CBA for several years. And they were doing what was called Plan B free agency, where each team was allowed to essentially protect 37 players. And the rest of the players would just go into free agency as normal. But if you wanted to sign one of the top 37, you had to give up 2 first-round picks. That's what happened to Washington when they signed Wilber Marshall away from the Bears defense. They had just, he was a big part of that 1985 Chicago Bears defense that won the Super Bowl. He wanted to hit free agency. Washington wanted a big name signing, as they always do. They signed him to a 5-year, $6 million deal, and they had to give up a couple first-round picks to Chicago to do it. Not long after that, Wilber Marshall was getting ready to hit free agency again, and about 5 years. And at this point, the players union had recertified. They came to an agreement with the owners, and the franchise tag was a thing. The salary cap was getting ready to come into existence in 1994, and Wilber Marshall became, despite the fact that they had other guys like Mark Rippon, Gary Clark, Art Monk hitting free agency, Washington decided to make Wilber Marshall, 31-year-old off-ball linebacker, the first player ever to get the franchise tag. And it turned into a whole thing. And technically Reggie White was the first to get the franchise tag, but he had actually been granted essentially immunity. He'd been given absolute free agency as part of the CBA. I can't even imagine a player being that good at this point that they are singled out in the CBA for special treatment aside from everybody else.
Right.
But going back to Wilber Marshall, he signs the deal, or he gets the franchise tag. And at this point, the franchise tag was not a huge raise like it is now. He had made $1.3 million the year before, and the franchise tag, he was going to make 1.6. He wasn't happy about it, right? So he gets the franchise tag. He files a memorandum in federal court saying, I don't want to be franchised. I want to hit free agency and try and make some money.
Right.
And there were 10 total people or players who were franchised that year. Eventually, all of them joined the suit or filed their own suit saying we don't want to be franchised, right? So that was kind of playing out with Judge David Doty. He was going to be ruling on that, and he said, "Hey, I'll get back to you around the end of April." So they're just kind of sitting around, waiting. And while they're waiting, Washington is like, you know what, we're just gonna trade you. So they start looking around. They get an offer from Houston, the Oilers at that point. Because Buddy Ryan, who was Wilber Marshall's former coach, was now coaching in Houston. They offered Washington a first-round pick. And then Wilber Marshall said, I want $3 million a year, which was just, blew them away. Right?
Unheard of at the time.
Because their top defensive player was Ray Childress, and he was making $950,000. He wanted several million, and they said he wasn't going to be happy if they brought somebody in from the outside and gave him a multi-million-dollar deal. So they're going back and forth. David Doty went ahead and approved the CBA. Said, yeah, the franchise tag is fine. Whatever, y'all work it out. Yeah. Houston ups their offer to a first-round pick and a fifth-round pick for Wilber Marshall. And now they're just kind of working out a deal with Wilber himself, right, and his agent, right? And Wilber told him, I want $3 million. And they said, no, we're not going to pay you $3 million. And they, they're going back and forth. They get pretty close. They offered him 2.75. He wants 2.9. So they're $150,000 away. And at this point, everybody's pretty frustrated. Washington just wants this to be over with. Wilber wants his money. Houston is like, this is not worth it at all. And so Houston calls up Washington. The GM is Charlie Casserly at that point and tells him, look, deal's off. We're not trading for him, right? Casserly then picks up the phone, calls Wilber Marshall's agent and warns him, hey, they're about to torpedo this deal. Go ahead and accept the deal, right? And, Wilbur Marshall's agent doesn't believe him. He thinks he's just, he's trying to scam him essentially. And he said, you know what? We being Washington, we'll pay the other $150,000. Just accept the deal. And so Wilbur Marshall's agent faxes over an acceptance letter to the Houston Oilers about the same time they're calling him to tell him the deal's off. We're pulling his contract offer. And so, everybody's mad at this point, right? He's saying, hey, this is a binding contract. You owe my client $2.75 million. Right. Washington saying you owe us a first and a fifth. And Houston saying, we told both of you we don't want to do this. So Paul Tagliabue, who was the commissioner of the NFL, was going to, he decided I have to hear this. I have to rule on this. They wait a month. They have their hearing. And Tagliabue essentially just kind of loses it, I guess you could say. And he's just like, what are any of you doing? Washington, you can't pay part of his salary. Now you're not getting your first and fifth. You're going to get a third and a fifth. Houston, you're going to pay him what you promised him. And Wilbur, congratulations, you're making a lot of money. You're going to go play for Houston. So yeah, he was happy, but it turns out nobody else really was. They all lost in that deal because Wilbur only played one season in Houston, wasn't very good, moved on to the Cardinals, wasn't very good, and was out of the league like a year later. But
that's $3 million in his pocket.
That's right. That's the story of the first player to ever be franchised in the NFL. And I do also want to real quick just shout out, like we did last week, Sandra Douglas Morgan, who became the first Black female team president when she was hired by the Las Vegas Raiders last Thursday.
Yeah, so that's right.
There you go. Right. A little twofer for you.
That's what's up. Shout out to Tracy Hall. Says, all right, now I'm here. Hey guys, thanks for coming through, Tracy. Appreciate it. And shout out to Andre Mears. I saw you in here. So what's up, LBHT? What's up with you, Andre? Yes. MJ says finesse. Yes, he might have been the first finesser, right? Ray Ross says facts. What's that? Shout out to Shug. Says, you know what's happy? Brodny with his new QB, God Baker, the savior Mayfield. Shout out to Shug.
It had to be
Knight 323. Make sure you give him a subscribe too. Yes. All right. Well, look. Since that was your Black History fact, we might as well go right into the main story here, right? The main headline. Orlando Brown. You want to do that?
Sure. So I've been seeing a lot from particular types of people saying that EDC saw it coming. We dodged a bullet with Orlando Brown because he's essentially holding out for I shouldn't say holding out, but he wants his $25 million a year as a Pro Bowl left tackle, the only tackle in the league who's been to the Pro Bowl 3 years in a row. He's 25, 26 years old. So I mean, he's a young, good tackle, and he wants to get paid like it, right? And so I see a lot of Ravens fans kind of saying, hey, good thing we traded him. And I just don't understand because, yeah, he's demanding a lot of money from Kansas City. But you gave up more sacks than like 28 teams in the league, and your quarterback got injured and you lost 6 games in a row and you missed the playoffs. How did you win?
All right, let's get into it.
And what did you get for that too? By the way, you got a pick that you used on an edge rusher, and then the very next year, you said edge rushers are top need.
Well, the fans said that, not the team. Fans did. Yes. All right, I should have said at the top of the hour. If you're looking for a super chat, I see some new faces in here. If you're looking for a super chat, we do super chat a little differently here. We do it 2 ways. One's right below B, $ LBHT Show. That's our Cash App. Also, that pin link that you see in the comment, that'll take you to our stream elements. Both ways, you can leave your donation, leave your comment. You'll get a nice little animation right next to my face, right there. All right. Okay. So, yes, the reason why I brought it up is because I saw it on. I saw a lot of people talking about it on Twitter, right? And there are a lot of fans that believe we won that trade because one, they don't think Orlando Brown is a good left tackle, which is false. He's good. He's just not great. But he is a good left tackle, right? And people are really excited about Oweh. Now, Oweh did pretty good as a rookie, and the expectation is he plays even better, right? But the fact is, Oweh isn't a key piece to this team, right? Like left tackle, well, your O-line is a key piece to the team. Yeah. And what we sacrificed with Orlando Brown like B alluded to, cost us the season. Our quarterback got beat up. He ended up getting injured, missing the last 6 games, and we missed the playoffs. Right? That's because when we traded Orlando Brown, we decided Alejandro Villanueva was a viable replacement, and he wasn't at either left tackle or right tackle. He was just straight trash. And we rushed Ronnie Stanley back too quickly. He gets hurt and is out for the season. So our O-line was in total shambles. Mm-hmm. So to say that we finessed them, where Orlando Brown made it to a Pro Bowl again as a left tackle, and the Kansas City Chiefs are in the AFC Championship game again, mm-hmm. right? To say that we got that they got finessed, that we finessed them, that's just not true. And you could say, hey, I still like what we got, but to say that we finessed them, nah. And if we're saying who won the trade, my thing is this: keeping your quarterback upright is always the best move. So I'm going to say they won the trade because they totally revamped their O-line in one offseason. And Orlando Brown, even though, yes, he's asking for a lot of money, and people are saying, oh, yeah, he's not worth it. He is worth it. Who else are you going to get? Right? Who else are you going to get? You're going to have to pay him. And the way these contracts are going, it's better to pay these guys now when they're young, and especially at tackle, right? I mean, you get your good left tackle locked up early. I mean, he can play well for a very long time. Are there some things that he has to clean up? Sure, but they're going to end up paying him. They're kind of going back and forth right now, but they're going to end up paying him, even if he has to play this year on the franchise tag. Right? If he plays at a high level again, he'll probably get more next year. That's usually how it goes.
I don't think he'll hit 25. I think he'll get over 20. I think he'll get a little more than Trent Williams got, which was I believe 21, 22.
21, I think, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you're talking about, like you said, keeping your quarterback upright, keeping your quarterback healthy, and the Chiefs made that a priority, and the Ravens did not. So I don't know how you could look at that and say, "Hey, we won," and especially with the logic being used, which is now we don't have to pay that guy. I mean, okay, yeah, you don't pay anybody anyway. You didn't have to trade him. They could have had Orlando Brown last year for $3 million and then just let him walk this offseason and got a 3rd-round comp pick for him. So in what way could you possibly say you won that deal? You had Lamar get beat up. Well, not even all season because he didn't play all season, but he got beat up, and then you had Tyler Huntley come in and get beat up because you couldn't protect anybody. And you did that because you wanted to draft I don't want to say a project, but a fairly raw edge rusher, right? I mean, he came in with 5.5 sacks. Yeah. And he made a few big plays, but it wasn't a difference making player all season. So yeah, I think it's a ridiculous argument to say that the Ravens won that trade when they gave away a young tackle who's performing at a high level consistently.
Yeah, and shout out to Shug for the donation here. He says, Brodny, rejoice, the Savior is here. Baker, the Savior Mayfield, shall take the Panthers to the promised land. When is Kyrie going to join the Lakers? KD to Golden State or Phoenix? You know who shouldn't be franchise tag? Christian Bale. # not my Batman. If you don't know, Shug and Christian Bale have personal beef. I'm not sure if you ever heard the audio of Christian Bale screaming at somebody on tape. That was Suge Knight. And Suge said ever since then it's been on site. Okay. But look, it's shout out to G Star 007, man. Thanks for coming through. He says they got OBJ and Creed Humphrey in that trade. That's right. Yes.
They destroyed y'all in that trade.
House says it's too early to say who won. Got to see how Oweh pans out. Well, here's what we know. Creed Humphrey's panning out really well.
Yeah.
And
Orlando Brown's panning out very good.
They are very good.
And very good O-linemen are better than very good defensive or edge rushers every time.
Yeah. We got Oweh, and we're saying, hey, we got to wait and see. And here's my thing. Oweh's fine. I don't think he's going to be a bad player. But I know how this fan base is. This fan base, we always want the shiny new thing. Y'all don't really believe in Oweh like that. You know how I know? Because all I heard this offseason was we need we need pass rushing. We need pass rushing. If Oweh did what that kid did in Dallas, what's his name?
Micah Parsons.
Jesus. And they drafted him as a middle linebacker.
Yes.
Right. And they just said, well, try edge rusher. If Oweh was doing what Micah Parsons did, you would not be saying we need an edge rusher. You'd be saying we're going to destroy everybody. Right. We got a monster. But no, y'all said we need an edge rusher because you don't really believe. You like Oweh. You want him to work out, as you should. You're a fan. But you don't really believe he's going to be that dude. All right. So just off of that alone, I would say, no, right now we didn't win the trade. Well, even in general, even if he was that dude, even if he was Michael Parsons, I would say, no, we didn't win the trade. Look how badly our quarterback got beat up.
Yeah.
So we lost. The number one priority is protecting your quarterback, then getting your quarterback some weapons, right? Edge rushing is not a priority. And I told y'all that wasn't a priority for the Ravens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't worry about it. They brought back Justin Houston.
They constantly tell you that edge rusher is not a main concern of theirs. They spend their money in the secondary. They build through the secondary. They used their first round pick on a safety, and they spent a bunch of money in free agency on a safety too. You know, they spent big on 2 corners. You know, they've used a lot of draft picks to fill out the depth chart there. They build through their secondary. The edge rushing position is not their priority.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, and shout out to Just Allo. I ain't give you a shout out earlier, man. Thanks for coming through.
What's up, Just Allo?
Yes. So, and Dandy says a delusional fan base. Every fan base has a delusional fans, right? Ravens are, they're no different than any other fan base. Trust me, like you spend time in any of these other spaces, or just start following some of these other fan bases. Like they'll say stuff. They'll say all kinds of stuff. Shout out to Sancho Mack. He says, I agree on OBJ, and they barely fixed the O-line.
We'll see. I think they did well with Linderbaum and Falele. I think eventually he'll be a good right tackle. I don't think he's going to be their guy this year, but yeah, I mean, we'll see if Ronnie Stanley comes back healthy and Morgan Moses can hold up. Yeah, I think they'll be much improved.
Yeah. Shout out to our brother OTR Mike, 1/3 of Ring Kings podcast, says, yo, I'm late, rough few days, but I'm here. Shout out to OTR Mike and his son, who is our assistant producer, one of our assistant producers on Ring Kings podcast, little Mikey. Okay, hope you get well. Okay, all right. Andre Muir says, I thought it was a bad pick, but I'm not going to say that now. He did his thing. McDonald is going to make a difference for guys like Oweh and the Ravens O-line. I don't think so.
He's talking or responding to him.
Oh, he's talking to that Ravens online. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think McDonald's going to do anything different, to be honest. And look, this is what we've been saying for a couple years now, right? They've been making bad picks. But, they get good players, but bad picks. Yeah. And like I said, I don't care if you turn into Micah Parsons. I would still call that a bad pick. Mm-hmm. How does that protect Lamar, right? If he's out there making all these plays, causing turnovers, and Lamar gets the ball back and he's still getting rocked, what does it matter?
And that's in a vacuum, right? But especially in a situation where you acquired that pick by getting rid of your starting right tackle. How do you not use it to replace your right tackle?
Here's another
any of your picks.
Now he brought up McDonald. Look, look, you guys need to understand, because we sound negative sometimes, right? Yeah. But why are we believing so much in McDonald?
Because
why? Like, Garnett says right here, too much hype for McDonald.
Because
look, I hope he turns into that guy. There's a difference between rooting for your team and just being unrealistic about your team. I hope he turns to be a good coach. But 1 year in college, 1 year, because he took a defense that's usually good. They had one bad year before he got there, and then they went back to being good like they normally are, and all of a sudden, he's a defensive genius. Come on, man. I don't buy that. I don't buy that. I let him show it. Let him show it first. If they turn out to be really good, okay, fine. But I think that, I think we're gonna do the same blitzing, because that's just our philosophy. I think that's why they didn't really worry about pass rushers, because what we need them for? All they're going to do is just ask for money.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't think he's going to do anything different. I don't.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that that's what they want to do. They want to be a blitz heavy team. And that's why they have guys like Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey, and why they went and got Marcus Williams and Kyle Hamilton. Yep. So that they say, hey, yeah, you guys, you better be able to handle the receivers on your own.
Yeah.
Because everybody else is going for the quarterback.
And shout out to MDT Sports says, what's up, gatekeepers? Talking about our guy Hendo. You put it in here a couple of times. You giving a shout out to Hendo. I hope you're subscribed. We need 20 people. We need 20 people tonight to subscribe to Ravens Online Ungatekeepers. Ravens Online Ungatekeepers. Subscribe. Yes. Tell your family to subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe right now. We need to get him to 1,000. We need 20. Step it up. Come on, let's do it. LBHT crew. I know we can do it. Shout out to Griff. He says way too much. He's a novice coach. Yeah, I agree. Sancho Mack, good point. He says if Ronnie isn't good, they're in trouble. Yeah. Yes, we're in a lot of trouble. That's something that kind of gets swept under the rug. They're like, oh well, we can manage. You think you can manage? That's what you thought last year with Villanueva. Oh, we can manage. No, we can't. All right. Don't just assume that the problem will get solved if you don't really know. Excuse me. Garnett says Orlando is the real reason why Hill couldn't get the full bank in Kansas City. I don't think that was it. I just think they felt like we reached the end with Tyreek. We don't really want to go forward with them. I think they were done with him when they drafted Mecole Hardman, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right. I won't say they were done with them because they gave him a big contract then, but they already set their mind around he's not going to be a part of the team.
And Andre Mears is asking how much of a difference would Orlando Brown have made last season?
A whole lot.
Well, on his own, maybe not much, right? I mean, you would have had you would have had a good left tackle, but you would have still been awful at right tackle. But it's not just OBJ, right? It's you were supposed to replace him, and Eric DeCosta didn't.
Well, hold on. How many? Because Ravens fans talk about this all the time. How many games we lost? That were close. The very first game against the Raiders, could he have made a difference in that game that we lost in overtime? I think he could have.
Yeah,
I think he could have kept Lamar upright a little bit longer. We could have made a couple more plays. We could have absolutely won that game if we had Orlando Brown. Right? Think about some of these other games that we lost close. The Rams. And this is when Lamar got hurt. You got the Packers. You know what I'm saying? Like all these games that were close losses. Go back and watch those games. See if our O-line was holding up. You think a Pro Bowl caliber tackle, especially on the left side, left side or right side, we're getting worked either way. You think he could have made a difference? The Miami game, he could have made a difference.
Well, and also you got to think about not even just protecting Lamar, but also in the run game, which was suffering last season because of a O-line. So I mean, he would have made a difference. But again, here's the real question, Andre: how much of a difference would a good GM make? That's what you need to ask yourself.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Look, you read a couple more comments and let's move on. We got a lot to talk about here. Yes, Raven Ron. He says we can only hope McDonald is a good defensive coordinator. I hope he is, but I'm not going to sit there and say, "Hey, we're good. We got McDonald." McDonald, he ain't nothing into the league yet. He's got to prove it. Let's see. Sugar says I don't subscribe to Ravens podcast. That's a lie. Sugar's a big Ravens fan. Okay, he subscribes to all of you. Okay. Griff says none of Harbaugh's buddies have panned out. It's true. I was trying to think. I was about to say, well, but no, it's true. It's true.
Andre says the run game sucked because the running backs was washed. The run game is what your O-line makes it, Andre. Yeah, this is why we always say, hey, don't pay running backs. And running backs don't matter. That's why that's a thing. Because unless you have Barry Sanders back there, you better have a good O-line opening up holes for him. Because the run game is what your O-line makes it. If they had a good O-line up front, those guys would have looked great.
Yeah. NDT Sports says Tyreek Hill saying to have 1 year start. Scared me. What's future about Lamar Jackson? Wait, say that again. Tyreek Hill saying Tua have 1 year start. I'm not sure what you're saying there, MDT Sports.
Yeah.
Something about him.
I guess that he's going to be the starter for 1 year, and then it's going to be Lamar Jackson.
Is that what Tyreek said? I didn't hear that.
All I heard from Tyreek was about how Tua is more accurate than Pat.
Yeah. Okay, look. So, what's the verdict here? The verdict is no, we did not win that trade. we did not win that trade. I much rather have kept Orlando Brown and paid him now. I feel a lot more comfortable with Orlando Brown. If especially if Ronnie Stanley, if he's healthy, Ronnie Stanley, Orlando Brown, Tyler Linderbaum, I would feel really good about that.
Mm-hmm.
Really, like you guys are excited about Morgan Moses. Orlando Brown's better than Morgan Moses. Right? Yes. I would feel really good with Ronnie Stanley, Orlando Brown, Tyler Linderbaum. Yes. I don't care what it costs. Who cares? All right. Like whatever it takes. Make it enough. # make it enough. I don't want to hear anything about salary cap and none of that nonsense.
Yeah. Andre, Le'Veon Bell is done. The running backs that you had on the team for the full season all averaged over 4 yards a carry. All three of them. Tyson Williams is over 5.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Look,
part of that is the effect of playing with Lamar Jackson, right? Now imagine that combined with a good O-line. You get what you saw the year before, where you have a guy averaging 6 yards a carry. Because I hate to break this to you, I don't know if I'm going to be the first one to tell you, J.K. Dobbins isn't that good.
Well, time out. I think J.K. Dobbins. I'm not. Look, that's why this is where I'm not going to sit there and be like he's a top 5 running back. Mm-hmm. I think he has potential. I think he's a talented running back. I think he could be that guy if they give him the opportunity.
I'm not saying he's a bad running back. I'm saying he is a good running back. I thought he was the best running back in that class. I'm saying he's not good enough to average 6 yards a carry. He averaged 6 yards a carry because of the O-line and Lamar Jackson.
Listen, no running back is that good. No running back is that good for a whole year to average 6 yards a carry. That just doesn't happen. Right? That's just not a thing. All right. Okay. All right. Raven Ron says J.K. Dobbins would be good over 1,000 yards, 1,300 yards. I don't think he's going to get enough carries for that.
Right. And Andre saying he's taking J.K. and Gus over everyone they had last season. Of course.
Yes.
But that's not the point that we're making here.
Yeah. I agree with you, Andre. Yeah.
The point is that a better O-line would have equaled a better run game.
Well, my point is a better O-line would have resulted in more wins.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's the point I'm making. Protecting your quarterback. Yes, I think it would improve the run game, but more importantly, it would have protected your quarterback. So I don't want to get too caught up on the run aspect of it. I'm talking about keeping Lamar upright. So, speaking of Lamar, do you want to go to Lamar next? No, not yet. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait on that. Okay. We gotta talk about another person who might be on his way out of the city. Kyrie Irving. Okay. Now, you guys know I'm a Nets fan. Okay. I'm a Nets fan. You know the news that's been going on, right? KD asked for a trade. You know how I feel about that. I'd have said you better suit up and get ready to play this season because you ain't going anywhere. Kyrie Irving's a different scenario. He's basically I think he orchestrated this whole thing, if we're being honest. The whole KD thing, I think he orchestrated the whole thing. He's trying to use it as leverage to get that long-term deal. And Brooklyn said, no, we're done with that. And, you know, he's trying to force his way to LA. That's what the reports are. But the latest reports are, Kyrie never said he wanted to go. He always wanted to play in Brooklyn. That's the only team he wanted to play for. In fact, he's wanting to play there whether KD is there or not.
Yeah.
Look, I don't buy any of that.
No.
I don't buy any of it. Kyrie is going to stay there until they find a good deal, or until they work out a deal with LA, because they seem like the only takers, right? Until they come to an agreement with LA, Kyrie's going to stay in Brooklyn, but then he's out of there. Now, KD, I can see staying. All right, KD, despite what they're saying, I can see him staying. He's just in a bad situation that he put himself in. I don't feel bad for him.
Yeah, so the thing with Kyrie is, he should be gone already. He should be in LA already, but LA is withholding their second first round pick, not adding it into the deal for whatever reason. Because I guess once they trade Westbrook and one first for Kyrie Irving, they think they're gonna get that other second round or other first round pick and land Giannis or something. I don't know what they think they're going to get with that, but go ahead and put it in the deal and get Kyrie Irving to LA so that you have LeBron, Kyrie, and Anthony Davis, and just worry about that. That's your team, right? You've made your signings in free agency. That other first round pick isn't going to do anything for you. You are championship or bust every year that LeBron is there. It's only going to be, maybe 2-3 more years. You cannot worry about a first round pick in 2029 or whenever that pick is. You need to go ahead and get this deal done, get Kyrie Irving in there and let that team gel. As far as Kevin Durant, man, it would have been perfect with Donovan Mitchell becoming available. They say Utah's listening to offers now. I would say that's a easy solution there, but Brooklyn can't trade for him without moving Ben Simmons. So if I'm Brooklyn, I'm looking at that. I'm just saying, you know what? Unless somebody really blows away with an offer, you're just gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah,
and he will. He will.
Just Allo got jokes here. It says Jose been a Nets fan since Super John Williamson. I don't know who that is, old man. Okay. Shout out to the Nets, man. Yes, I've been a fan of them for a while, for a little while. Okay. And I'm still gonna be a fan. And I think I don't think the Nets are gonna fall off after all this. We'll talk about that in a second, but I don't think they're gonna fall off. Let's read a couple more comments here. Andre Mir says KD's stuck. Yes, I think he is. I think he's stuck. He signed a 4-year deal last year that kicks in this year. He's 34 years old. He's stuck, right? Sorry, you did that. Should have said, I said yesterday KD should stay in Brooklyn. And shout out to OTR Mike with the donation. Said, did y'all know the best nation is donation? Hashtag FTK. Yes, indeed. Appreciate you, Mikey. Appreciate that. You want to be awesome like Mikey? There are 2 ways you can hit up that super chat. First one is $ LBHT Show. That's a Cash App. And the other one is a pin link in the comment. That's how we do super chats around here. Okay, both ways. You can just leave a donation, leave a comment, and you get that nice animation right there. Okay. My holy king, shout out to you. Thanks for coming to the live stream. Says Brooklyn fans since Reggie Theus. Oh man. Okay, y'all. Okay, yeah. I do remember Reggie Theus though. Attitude Pop, shout out to you. Says, how does Kyrie want to stay with a franchise who doesn't want him? They want him gone, but I think he's staying since the Lakers don't want to include a first round pick. So he will stay and go next season. Okay, so this is a good question. Here's the thing about the Nets. I don't think they want him gone. I don't think they're at the point where just like, you're out of here. They just don't want to give him a 4-year deal.
Yeah, they didn't want to give him a full max deal. They wanted him back. They were negotiating to bring him back. But it's fine because the Lakers will include that first round pick. They're just, they're doing what teams do, right? They're procrastinating until some outside force forces the deal to happen. Like we were talking about Wilbur Marshall and the Black History Fact, they set like 3 deadlines. That didn't all come together until June 2nd, the night of June 2nd, because they had set an arbitrary deadline for June 3rd. Yeah. These teams just they play around and they try to hold back. They try to screw the other team as much as possible until the very, very last second. That's why a lot of deals don't go through at the trade deadline, because people are just playing around up until that point, and they try to get real serious at the end, and sometimes they don't have enough time.
Yeah. And shout out to our guy Hendo, Ravens Online Gatekeeper. He says everyone doesn't GM like you and mortgage all the future, Brodny. But the Lakers already
did.
Yeah,
them picks are gone. Like, and it's not mortgaging your future when you're going to have Kyrie and Anthony Davis in between.
Listen. I don't listen. The Lakers, that's what they do. They don't worry about the future. They always worry about right now. And I can respect that. I mean, look how many championships they've gotten. They're like future, we'll worry about that when that happens.
Yeah.
Okay. You can keep trading. See, here's the beauty about future picks, B.
Yeah.
You can always trade future picks.
That's right. And Hendo, I don't know what you're talking about because they GM exactly the same way I do. They don't draft players, they take yours.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Chris said Nets want a firstborn for KD. It ain't gonna happen.
Hey,
yeah, hey, listen.
Hey, Utah got it for Rudy Gobert, didn't they? So
okay. So all right. So okay, like I was saying about Kyrie. I can see a situation about with Kyrie and KD where they both leave, and I can see a situation where they both stay. Not only will they both stay, I can see a situation where they both finish out the careers with Brooklyn. Hear me out. Hear me out. The obvious is they get to get rid of Kyrie because Kyrie wants to go to LA, right? That's obvious. But the other one could be, listen, these guys are trying to play hardball. They're trying to see if we call their bluff. We call their bluff. And Kyrie says, all right, you know what? All right, I'll go ahead and sign that 2-year extension, man. You know what I'm saying? Like if he talks to LeBron and says, hey man, I'm coming home. I'm coming home, right? And LeBron says, yeah, come on home. And Kyrie says, so we gonna work out an extension, right? Like next year, like they're gonna give me like a 4-year deal. And they're like, if they're like, nah, I mean, you got to play out this year and then we'll see what happens. He may not be too comfortable with that. Mm-hmm. Right. And if that happens, I can see him saying, all right, I try to negotiate hard. This is the best thing that I could do right now. I'll do the 2-year deal, right? Or 1-year deal. And if if things work out, you guys are comfortable with me after that, then we can sign a longer deal after that. KD, like I said, KD, it's a lot easier. You just tell him no. I don't care. You just tell him no. Sorry, man. You signed a 4-year contract this offseason, and nobody's giving us what we're asking for. Yes, we're asking for a lot. You're KD. We're going to ask for a lot. We're not going to give you away for pennies because we don't have to. So it is what it is. All right. All right, what are we gonna do? D Weez is here. Do we want to do some lunch money bets?
My Holy King says LeBron is ghost after this season. Not if they bring in Kyrie Irving. He's not. They bring in Kyrie. That team's right back contending for a title. He's staying in LA, which is why it makes absolutely no sense to mess around and be like, "Oh, I'm going to keep this other pick."
Yeah,
just give him the pick. Get it done.
Mikey says Gilbert Arenas said he would trade Russ. AD for Kyrie,
exactly,
and KD.
I said that the very day that they started when Kevin Durant was like, "Oh, go ahead and trade me." I was like, "Trade for both of them."
Well, hold on, I gotta read
up out of here.
I gotta read the whole question for our audio listeners, right? And shout out to everybody. We got an audio podcast. Okay, this everywhere you listen to audio podcast, we're there. Gilbert Arenas said he would trade Russ and AD for Kyrie and KD. Is A, as a Nets fan, B, as a Lakers fan, would you be okay with that trade? No.
Yeah, you would. Look, Russ doesn't have to go to Brooklyn. He can go somewhere else, and you just get picks and role players or whatever. You get Anthony Davis, and the Lakers get the next couple championships. That's the way it should be.
No, I'm not okay with that. I mean, look, if that's the best they could do, it is what it is. AD is an excellent player. He just gets hurt a lot, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the Nets are very good with broken players, right? Because that's what KD was when he got here. That's what Karis LeVert was when he came into the league, right? Like they're very good at managing injuries. So I think if we got AD, we manage him well, he'll play well, and they know how to put the team together. They'll put a team around him, right? But that's not what I prefer. That's not what I prefer. I was gonna say I prefer to keep KD at this point, but man, I don't know, man. When I see stuff like that, I just don't know if he has it in him. All right, I don't know if he has it in him.
Bro, Kobe Kwan says Miami has Harrell, Duncan Robinson, and multiple first-round picks. Don't nobody want none of that, Quan.
None of it. You can keep that. You can keep that. No thanks. So yeah. Of course, they're going to ask for a whole lot. And if you're a team that's trying to compete, look, the Minnesota Timberwolves, people are laughing like, oh, they asked for Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. Yeah, right. Well, he's better than both of them. like those two are together and they're not competing. Does anybody think the Minnesota Timberwolves are a championship caliber team? No. Right? So why is that a ridiculous ask? Right? They're talented, yes, but can they win?
Right. Mr. J saying Silver would never allow LeBron and KD. He allowed KD, Curry, and Clay.
Yeah, I know.
The younger versions.
Shout out to RTV. Says great show, guys. Appreciate you,
Thank
RTV.
you.
Thank you. All right. We'll leave it there because we're already 45 minutes in, and it is time. Are you ready, B? D Weezy is ready. All right. It is time for you gambling degenerates to get your pen and paper ready. All right. Because our man D Weezy is here with the bets for you to help you make some money this weekend. D Weezy, what is going on, my friend?
What's going on, fellas?
What's up, Derek?
What's up with you, man? How we doing?
Not much going on. Doing good. I was digging into some of the player performance props for the season. I heard y'all talking about that a little bit. I do believe I saw J.K. Dobbins around 850 over under rushing yards. Another one I was looking at was Christian McCaffrey rushing and receiving combined. Over under is at 1450 there. Which I think could be an interesting play, depending on how healthy he might stay. When you're talking about a combined stat like that, you're not necessarily saying he's got to get X amount of rushing yards, and he's the type of player that can give you, 700, 800 yards in both categories, which puts you over that 1450.
Mm-hmm.
And then another player I was looking at, we got Aaron Jones, 9.5 rushing and receiving combined TDs for the season. I think that could be a strong play. With no Devontae Parker, with the lack of weapons in Green Bay, I think we could see Aaron Jones fall into a very similar situation to what we saw CMC used in past years.
Yeah, I mean Devontae Adams was traded out to the Raiders.
Yes.
But no, I absolutely agree because it sounds kind of high initially, right? 9.5. He's going to be splitting time with AJ Dillon, but who's going to steal those touchdowns? And Aaron Rodgers is going to move the ball.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and now going into a couple plays I have for tonight over on the Baseball Diamond. We got Shohei Ohtani going back out on the mound. Now, this week, I will be on the under with the strikeout props. It's at 7.5, meaning he's got to get 8 to hit the over. They're going up against the Houston Astros, one of the best teams in the league right now, potential World Series candidate, if not outright winner. I don't see this being a team that's going to generate the same swing and misses that you would see with a lesser team. A couple weeks back, I was, on the other side of this prop with Ohtani, and he went way over. I think the competition we have on the other side, we're not going to see that same strikeout level, even if he does go deep into the game. So I'm on the under there, 7.5. And then my other baseball play that hasn't kicked off, going back to those Baltimore O's who, like y'all said, on a 9-game win streak.
Yes.
Me personally, I don't think there's any reason why a team that's on the verge of a 10-win game winning streak should be an underdog against a team as bad as the Cubs. That being said, I'm on a little parlay with the Baltimore Orioles money line and the under on the game total of under 8. That's a plus 334 on the odds. And like I said, this team's playing hot. They've won a lot of their games low scoring, 4-2, 5-3 in those ranges, not putting up high offensive production, but you've seen good play out of the pitching. I think the under is a strong play there. Like I said, I'm on the money line because there's no reason this team shouldn't be the favorite against another bad team.
All right. And Raven Ron, you cover some of what Raven Ron's asking for here. He says, make your money on baseball. Degenerate Ron's bets Orioles run line plus 1.5 parlay. What's SD?
San Diego.
San Diego money line and Dodgers money line. Houston money line. Houston, Los Angeles Angels under 7, and the Yankees. What's our line?
Run
line.
Minus 1.5. D Weezy, talk to me.
All right. Well, that first off, that New York Yankees run line ain't looking too good, seeing as how they're down 4 at last check against the Reds. And that was a game where last night they got upset by the Reds, a stellar team, and I don't think many people expected them to come back out and jump on top with a quick early lead like they did. Now they're in that game. I do have the Yankees team total points over. I believe it's 4.5. Actually, it's over 5.5, but that they could still cover that number and end up losing the game. I talked about the Orioles. Kind of what you see he's got going here with the San Diego money line and the Dodgers money line together. You have 2 strong favorites where you got high juice. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but we're probably talking about anywhere from like minus 140 to minus 160, 170, or even higher. Talking about a team being favorite, the Yankees going into that Cincinnati game, at the book I was looking at was minus 320, which is huge juice to be laying down. And I feel sorry for anybody that currently is having to go through that sweat, hoping that the Yankees pull that one out. But yeah, and then it's a bit of a similar parlay that he has with Houston to my Orioles parlay. Basically outright win by Houston. The under coming in that somewhat falls in line with what I was talking about with Ohtani. I think Houston can win this game. He may limit their offense in the earlier portions of the game, and that could translate to the under being the way to go there. I don't think the Angels will be able to put up many runs against Houston. And so, yeah, that's almost a splitting image of my Orioles parlay that I was telling y'all about.
I'm muting myself. All right, those are the bets. If you want more, because D Weezy got a whole lot more. All right, D Weezy, tell them where they can find you so they can get more of these hot bets.
Yeah, y'all can get at me at Backyard Action Media here on YouTube. I'm also doing a weekly show with NFL Caleb 22 on the LGR network, where currently we're breaking down season win totals, over and unders for teams going by divisions. I believe we have the NFC West coming up in our next episode, but definitely check that out. As I said, you can get at me on my channel. I have a channel as well in the Discord here with LBHT. I've always got a lot of sports betting content and things going, and definitely some hot takes and different opinions at times, because sure seems like what was impossible with my Lamar talk is starting to, gain a little traction.
Hey, Derek, I know you mentioned last week.
There, sir.
I know you talked about it last week, but one more time for Suge. Why don't you tell me what that Baker Mayfield arrival did for the Panthers win total?
It moved it up by a whole 1 game.
And
I find it rather hilarious that the whole narrative has been.
But wait, 1 game like from 8 wins to 9 wins, 9 wins to 10 wins.
What was it, 5.5 to 6.5, right?
No, it was 6.5 to 7.5 at the book I was looking at. But yes, it basically the same. A 1 game move, not a playoff team. That's what the book's saying. I hear a whole bunch of narratives where he makes them such a better team, but they won't make the playoffs.
Mr. J wants to know any summer league bets. Well, hold up before you say anything, Mr. J. All right, well, look, you're in the Discord, okay? You're in the Discord. All right, give him. Do you have one? I don't think. Okay, look. In the Discord, don't say anything, D Weezy. You guys subscribe. You guys subscribe to Backyard Action Media. You gotta hit the Discord. We'll tell you how to get to the Discord. He got all the bets. He got everything for you. All right. So
Well,
if you
now, unfortunately, I am not such a degenerate that I have NBA Summer League. I mean,
wait,
Right.
are we talking about preseason basketball?
Not
listen,
even preseason.
listen. The summer league's a big deal. The summer league's a
Oh
big
no,
deal.
I'm not disputing that, but as far as from the aspect of trying to put money on it, we're
Right.
talking about a
D Weezy, are
setting
you
where
telling me if
These
somebody
dudes are going
challenges?
to be
Hold
playing
on,
Liga MX
hold on a
next year.
second. D Weezy, are you telling me if somebody issues you a challenge in the Lunch Money Bets Discord channel, if they throw down a challenge, I bet you can't hit me with some bets in the summer league. Are you telling me you won't take on that challenge?
that is not what I said.
Okay,
You was asking if I
all right.
already had Summer League just locked and loaded, ready to go.
D Weezy take on any challenge.
That's
We
what
know
I
that.
thought. That's what I thought. Okay, all right. So, all right, D Weezy, you can find him in our Discord channel, like he said. Backyard Action Media, also the LGR network, place where you can find him. Also on our Overtime Show, which is what we do directly after this show. So, D Weezy, thank you for joining us, and we will see you shortly, my friend.
All right, everybody, take care out there.
All right. Okay. Look, as discussed, where you can find him, where you can find his Discord, right below me, patreon.com/LBHT Show. That is our Patreon. We have multiple tiers. Any of those tiers will get you entrance to our Discord. But we have 3 tiers, and B will tell you about those 3 tiers and what you get for them.
Real quick, I want to say what's up to Q Jackson 124. How you doing?
Shout
And
out
our
to Q.
guy Zeke Hokage.
Zeke Hokage, what's up, man? Thanks for coming through.
Yes. The
Yes.
best show in the galaxy. Thank you.
Hey, what's up? He said, "What's up?" It's Jason Ridley, just now entered. Yes. Thanks for coming through.
Okay, so for the Patreon, we do have 3 tiers. We have a $3 tier, which gets you into our NFL Pick'em League that we do every season, and we give away a custom LBHT trophy for that. The $10 tier will get you into our Fantasy Football League. We have a Dynasty League going on right now. That one is full. If there's enough interest, we'll start up a second one, but we will have a redraft league starting up closer to the start of the season. Both of those tiers the $10 tier will allow you to request specific content, videos or articles on any sport topic that you like. We do have the $20 tier as well, which is a combined tier for this show as well as our boxing podcast, Ring Kings. And that'll get you everything I mentioned, along with the custom poker set featuring our top 25 fighters of all time. Jose has it there, the LBHT crew coin. That'll get you get that in the $20 as well as the $10 tier. And all the tiers will get you entrance into our Discord and our overtime show that we do after this show every week.
Now you mentioned the trophy, pick a trophy. Look, but I can't not show. This is our current champion, right? 1/3 of Ring Kings podcast. Yes, he won it. Yes, Mr. OTR Mike. All right, he the hard work.
Let's go ahead and get that off the screen. Here's the belt for the Dynasty Football League. You might notice some Dragon Ball Z characters partaking in some recreational entertainment there on the side panels. That's because Deshaun won our first year in the league, and the first 4 champions are going to be allowed to put their logo on the belt, give it a little history and prestige there moving forward.
Yes. All right, and also if you like what we're wearing, if you like the merch, you like this shirt. This is a clean shirt. This is a clean shirt. All right, you like that? You like that B that B's wearing? Here's where you can get it right here. All right, LBHTShow.com/shop. Right, you see the ticker. Check out our merch. Go to the store. Take a look at it. You see something that you like, go ahead and get something, man. If you see something that you would like to see, let us know. Okay, we're constantly making adjustments, making improvements. We're actually in the middle of talking through some new designs and a couple new layouts. Okay, a couple things we're going to add to the store. We like to keep things fresh over there. Okay. This shirt in the corner here, that's a hot item right there, the LBHT crew shirt. Okay, you usually see me wearing that on the show. I like to change up the attire every now and then so you guys can kind of see what we have, but we have a lot of stuff over there, so check it out. Also, B mentioned Ring Kings podcast. That is our second channel that we do with our brother OTR Mike. All right, so go over there and hit the subscribe. Speaking of subscribe, let me take this off the screen. All right, Speaking of subscribe, I just took a look. Okay, we are 17 away for our man Hendo hitting 1,000 subscribers. Ravens online ungatekeepers. Okay, you might see him around. Okay, right? You see him on Engraven's channel. Engraven's giving him a shout out. Okay, you see him on Justin P's channel recently. All right, shout out to KTSE Sports Talk with Justin P.
It's tough to get on there. He was interviewing Hugh Jackson the other day.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Listen. Justin P. He only deals with professionals. Okay,
Yes.
He only deals with professionals, and he had Hendo on there. Okay, that means he's a big deal. All right, so get my man to 1,000 subscribers tonight.
And you know he's picky because he hasn't had me on yet. So there you go. Our guy Mike saying I be hating on him. Some co-host he is. Hey Mike, what's up with Christian Watson?
Now,
just get back to me anytime. Anytime, Mike.
B is referring to our Dynasty Football League, in case you don't know. It is very competitive. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. And I imagine every time we have this drama with trades and things like that, I imagine that's what real football GMs are doing a lot of times. All right. But okay. Look. We're not bonus time yet.
Yeah.
We
wanted to talk about Donovan Mitchell.
Okay, let's talk about Donovan Mitchell.
I took down the actual banner that I had on here for him, but Utah is listening to offers on Spida Mitchell, and honestly, I'm not sure where he's going to end up because the place that immediately came to mind was Brooklyn, but they would have to move Ben Simmons in order to make that happen, and I'm not sure what they're going to be looking for. Like, are Utah going into a full-on tank, do you think, at this point? Or do you think they're looking for some actual on-court value in return and not just picks?
I think they're a lot like Brooklyn, where they're all for keeping Spida Mitchell. He's an amazing talent. They've been to the playoffs every year that he's been in the league. And, yes, they moved out Rudy Gobert, who was, the two of them were butting heads. And I think they have enough picks.
Hey, the coach they fired said that wasn't true.
Yeah, sure, whatever. But they have enough picks to surround him with some talent, right? Mm-hmm. To make them competitive again. I think they're open to everything. When they say, "Hey, no, we're open to trades," I don't think that means we're shopping him, right? I think that means, look, we would love to keep this guy. I know he hasn't been the happiest here. But if he's willing to commit to us, we'll commit to him. If another deal piques our interest, we'll take that too. Now for the Brooklyn thing, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, I know. Ben Simmons is prohibitive. His contract is prohibitive in a lot of these deals that could happen. But I think if any of these teams are willing to take on Ben Simmons out of here, right? I would trade. And look, Ben Simmons is a good talent. Right, mm-hmm. It's not about. I think he'll be fine moving forward, but I'd rather have Spida Mitchell, right? Like if we can move KD and Ben Simmons for Spida Mitchell and a few of those picks that they got, I take it.
So I'm going to disagree all the way around. I think Utah is going into tank mode. I think they are shopping him. They just don't want it to seem that way because. And this is something that, and I hate to give this guy credit because I don't know why. But Brian Windhorst pointed out that why would you trade Royce O'Neal for a first-round pick? That makes no sense for them.
But why go into tank mode when you've been
they've already started, right? They already moved Gobert, so now you're already talking about maybe not even being that team anymore. The rest of that roster is pretty old. You're talking about Mike Conley, Bogdanovich. Joe Ingles has moved on already, but they had a couple other guys who are all in their 30s. So you're not really built around Donovan Mitchell right now. You were built to win, in theory. The team wasn't good enough, but you were trying to win right now. And moving on from Gobert says, hey, we know that this team isn't good enough at this point, so we need to kind of reset. And I think that you're going to do that by moving on from Donovan Mitchell and just hitting rock bottom as close as you can. Because I don't think Donovan Mitchell is a good enough player to be the number one guy on your championship team. If I'm Brooklyn, I think that Ben Simmons is a better talent than Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is a phenomenal scorer, absolutely. But Ben does everything else better, right? And he's not a terrible scorer himself. He was averaging about 16 points a game. He just won't shoot the ball, which is its own issue, obviously. But if I'm picking between the two, I would rather have Ben Simmons in that number 2 role that he's in Brooklyn right now, number 2 or 3, depending on what happens with KD and Kyrie, as opposed to having Donovan Mitchell as the number 1.
So I wouldn't look at it either situation, whether it's Donovan Mitchell or Ben Simmons. You got to bring in another person, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to have to happen. I think Donovan Mitchell brings that leadership quality that we just don't have in Brooklyn from anybody, right? That's why I would prefer to have Spida Mitchell, and I trust Brooklyn to bring in some other talent. And I don't believe they're in a situation where nobody's going to want to play there. I think a lot of players will sign up there, right? Just because KD and Kyrie don't know how to act, right? Like, this is a team that caters to players. So I would love to have Spida Mitchell there. I would rather keep Ben Simmons. I like Ben Simmons too, but
if they're gonna move KD and you're looking for that kind of player, I still think the best that they can do is going to Boston and saying, give us Jaylen Brown, give us Marcus Smart, give us maybe Grant Williams or one of your other guys and a couple picks, and you can pair KD with Jason Tatum, and we'll pair Jaylen Brown with Ben Simmons and all these role players, and we'll make our run that way. And as far as Donovan Mitchell, the team that I really want to see make a run at him, and that is the Dallas Mavericks, to have him be the other scorer, Luka. The other scorer with definitely now in shape Luka.
Fat Luka.
I think they make a run at a title next year if they can pull that off.
Wow. Look. Mikey doesn't agree. Mikey says, I can't wait for my prediction of Donovan Mitchell to Golden State for Jordan Poole, Wiggins, and Wiseman comes to fruition.
They said they wouldn't move those guys for KD. Why would they move them for Donovan Mitchell?
Well, that's because they just don't want KD. Okay, that's what that is. They're like, him again? No, thank you. Jason says Donovan Mitchell might get traded. Wow. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the talk. Oh, our guy E is in that house. Said On the Record Podcast wore leather slip-ons in South Beach. Hey, thanks for coming through, Mike. E. Let's see here. Let's see what else we got. Mr. J says Jazz saw how Victor cooked Rudy in that 1v1 and said, "Yep, that's our guy."
Yeah, maybe. I could definitely see that they're stacking up on picks and maybe trying to get to that number. Going to butcher his last name live on air out of France.
Oh, the French do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Spiders. I'm not gonna say he's on the move. I don't think so. I think they're all for keeping him. I just think they know it wasn't gonna work with Rudy Gobert anymore. He just didn't want ever since the COVID incident, he was just out on Rudy Gobert. That I'm talking about Spida Mitchell. So they had to move him.
If you want to keep him, there's no point to listening to offers for Spida Mitchell if you're planning on keeping
him. But again, I don't. Oh, shout out to Anonymous. Appreciate the donation. He says, "Where is Mr. Newton signing?" Talking about Cam Newton.
We'll get into that in 1 second. Go ahead and finish your thought on Dunn.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. I think they're now 100% sure if Spida Mitchell is 100% in. Right. He's got 3 years left on his deal.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And he may not be the happiest, but it's like, okay, do we want to build a young team around this guy and then he bounces? Or what? So I think they're kind of trying to wait to kind of feel him out to see if he's going to sign an extension, or if he says, "Nah, I'm gonna look to hit free agency or whatever." All right, then we'll look to move you, right? So I think just kind of just keeping everything on the table right now.
I feel like they are definitely going into tank mode, and they want to reset with some new people. That's why they brought in a coach who's never been a head coach before. I think they're starting from square one. But yeah, I mean, the other MDT Sports says that Spida Mitchell going to the Knicks, that's another spot for him. If they can move Julius Randle, Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickly, and some of their picks, they have 8 first-round picks that they can trade. So if they can, keep RJ Barrett and add Spida Mitchell along with Jalen Brunson, that's a very, very solid team. That's definitely a playoff team. That's a team that can challenge for the East.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right.
They won't win it, mind you, but they can challenge.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. We had a question about Mr.
quarterback talk.
Mr. Cam Newton. Okay, where does he end up? It's his options are looking good right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's the end for him because I personally just don't feel like he's completely washed. I don't, but it's about opportunities in the league. I'm not sure how many more opportunities he's going to get. It'll come down to an injury situation probably. So look, his best chance to me is still Carolina, right? If Baker doesn't work out, they're already done with Sam Darnold, and if Matt Corral doesn't work out, I can see them saying, or there's a combination they're not playing well or injuries. I can see them saying, "Hey Cam, one more time, my friend, one more time," right?
I don't think it happens. I don't think he's going to get signed. In Carolina, you have Baker, you have Darnold. I don't think Darnold's going to be moved. I think they're just going to end up keeping all 3 of them. And, I don't think that they will. If it goes bad with Baker and Darnold, I think they'll just play Matt Corral and see what he's got, see if he can get, some improvement in before next season. And I think the only other real advocate he had in the league was Bill Belichick. And, he's already gone through that. They cut him right before the start of last season, which what seemed like some behind the scenes issues there.
Yeah.
So I don't think that he's going to get another shot. I really don't. I think the league has never really liked and embraced Cam Newton. So if you're saying, hey, I'm not 100% sure he can play at this point, I think most teams won't even consider it.
I think, there's one name I forgot. And I think this might come up in conversation as well. Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera owes him, first of all. All right. He owes him. And Washington doesn't have the best of quarterback situations over there, right? They just traded for Carson Wentz.
Super dirtbag.
And Carson Wentz, he might look good, he might not. And if he doesn't, I can see that being a situation where how many quarterbacks has Ron Rivera gone through already?
I mean, just the one.
No.
In Washington, yeah. I mean, because Ryan Fitzpatrick got hurt. Right?
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
And Taylor Heineke. I mean, he played Kyle Allen.
He played Kyle Allen, yeah.
But Heineke was kind of the guy.
Well, he started with Alex Smith. Didn't he start with Alex Smith?
Was he there with Alex Smith? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he started with Alex Smith.
Maybe so.
But it's not.
He was there when Alex Smith came back. I mean, that wasn't his guy.
You're talking about 4 or 5 quarterbacks he's gone through, right? And if this doesn't work out with Carson Wentz, I can see Ron Rivera saying, I'm done with all this. Give me the guy that I'm comfortable with, because that's another thing about the NFL, right? Give me what I'm comfortable with, right? I don't know how much he has left, but I know he knows my playbook. I know we know each other well. We're on the same page. There's not going to be any just back and forth. Just bring me Cam, and I'll make it work. I can see that, especially for a coach that doesn't really care about offense. And shout out to Anonymous for the donation. Says, thank you for another marvelous show. Hey, thank you. And I guys, I feel terrible. I ain't gonna lie. I'm battling this cold. I'm doing my best to give you a good performance. But as soon as we're done here, I'm going to
the OT.
Straight to OT.
I think with Washington, Ron Rivera took the quarterbacks that he knew. They were Kyle Allen and Taylor Heineke. He was familiar with both of them from Carolina, and he hasn't made any kind of a move to bring in Cam. I don't think that it's going to happen. I think that he's done.
It's looking that way. I don't ever want to say it's done. I'm a Cam fan, man. I'm a Cam fan. Never say never. It's not over. It's not over. Look, it's a small chance, but there's a chance. We didn't think he was going to go back to Carolina. We would have said that's a 0% chance last year. It happened.
Yeah.
So, hey, thank you, MJ. Thank you. Appreciate it. You know what? I've told B this before. There's been times where we started a show and I'm like, man, I don't feel good. Shout out to Tanja. It says, hey, Jose and Brodny. Hope you feel better, Jose. Thank you. But there were a couple times where we're getting ready to start. I'm like, man, I don't feel good. But when we start the show, I feel a lot better.
Yeah.
I don't feel 100%, but I do feel a little bit better, right? Because I told B, man, I'm game time decision. This is 50-50 tonight. I didn't want to have to cancel, right? Me and B don't like canceling shows. We want to give you what we guarantee. If we're not going to be available on a Wednesday, we want to have a pre-recorded show ready for you, so you still have your show on Wednesday. So we didn't have time to pre-record anything. So I was like, no, let's do it. Yeah. Let's do it. All right, yeah, just in time. Just Aloe, aka just in time.
Yes.
Says ESPN been feeding off on Lamar all week. Guys, I fought. Me and B discussed this, and I was just like, look, I'm a huge Lamar fan, obviously. B's a Lamar fan.
Yes.
But I am tired of the Lamar clickbait. And yes, this is absolutely right. ESPN been feeding off Lamar all week. A lot of people have been feeding off Lamar, and I'm not even mad. When it's slow, you gotta do what you gotta do. I get it. Yeah. I get it. I just don't like doing that stuff. Like, me and B don't like doing that stuff. We don't like doing that clickbaity stuff, right? That's why that wasn't the title of this show. That's why I was just like, I refuse. Like, if we got to talk about soccer, I'd rather do that, right? I just don't want to do the clickbaity stuff. But it is something that's being talked about, so we got to talk about it. Shout out to Anonymous, says, Mr. Jackson resents Ravens for running him a lot. I would.
I think privately he probably does. And I should say this. I think that he doesn't like it. And I think he's made that known. And I think if they try to continue to do it, then it will turn to resentment. I won't say that he resents them right now, but I think it'll get there.
I think there's a little bit of resentment there, because I think that's exactly what's keeping them from signing him to this huge deal. Yeah. I think they're looking at it as, you get hit a lot. And I've heard people say that. I heard somebody on Dan Le Batard show, Mike Ryan. Mike Ryan's he's been making a lot of bad takes lately, by the way. Shout out to Mike Ryan, but you've been making a lot of bad takes lately. But you say, hey, look, he's an amazing talent, but it's a lot of that relies on his feet. Jose's version of the flu game. I appreciate you guys, man. But this is what a lot of media think. They think Lamar, yeah, he could pass a little bit, but what makes him who he is his athleticism. And without that, that's pretty much it, right? Mm-hmm. And me and B argue all the time, like, no, like, he can pass. If he had to be just a pocket passer, he'd be an amazing passer, right? Yeah. But he adds that extra element to his game. And honestly, like, Lamar is such an amazing talent. Like, it's never going to fall to the point where he can't use it. Like, let's just get that clear. It's never going to be like he's not going to be a statue back there at any point, right? But he's a good enough passer. He's a really good passer. He's an efficient passer. He's an accurate passer. To where if they lean on that more, the athleticism part of it would just make him completely unstoppable. But the Ravens don't know how to utilize that. And I think that narrative that people push out there, I think the Ravens might buy into a little bit, or at least it seems that way, right? And if they're using that in negotiations, if they try to say, hey, well, you do take a lot of hits, or we don't know about long-term and all that stuff, right? Then they're contradicting themselves, because it's like, well, you're running me all these times, right? Yeah. Run me less. It won't be a problem. But we don't want to do that. Well, why don't you want to do that? Right? Why don't you? Oh, you don't believe me as a passer? Mm-hmm. All right, then. Well, then don't sign me. Well, we don't want to sign you either, right? So there might be a little resentment there. Well, you guys are putting me in a situation where I can't maximize on my skill sets, right? I can't make the most money I can because you want to use me a certain way, knowing it's detrimental to my earnings, my career earnings. Yeah, absolutely. I would say there's some resentment for that.
Yeah.
All right.
And Andre Mir says, I hate to say this, but I wonder why nobody calls Josh Allen a running back. Well, you know why? Because he was much more of a running back than Lamar was early on, because he really couldn't throw. That's changed. he's developed quite a bit as a passer. He's a great passer, but early on it really was just, hey man, point him in the direction of the end zone and tell him to go.
And don't hate to say it. Hate that it's a reality. That's what I hate. Right? I hate that I have to point that out.
Now we will say that this is all coming up because they put out a top 10 quarterbacks list, and Lamar wasn't on it. Deshaun Watson was on it. Dak was on it. Stafford. Several other guys. It's top 10 list, but Lamar wasn't there, and so there's been a big argument about whether or not he should be there. And I just didn't really see the point of it. Like, I get the whole clickbait of you want to call attention to the fact that Lamar's not there. But Lamar didn't have a good season last year.
Right.
He missed a third of the season, and the part that he played wasn't great. Now, if you ask me, is he a top 10 quarterback in the league just generally? Absolutely. I think he's either, I would say, it's fair to put Aaron Rodgers, Pat Mahomes ahead of him. Aaron Rodgers, back-to-back MVP. Pat Mahomes is making deep playoff runs every year. He's won a Super Bowl and everything. But I take him over every other quarterback in the league. But we're just talking about, hey, we're going to put out a top 10 list before the start of this season. I mean, I don't care that he's not on it. Yeah, he didn't have a great season. So what?
I think the thing that really got into people's skin. I understand the argument. I mean, if you're going to click on the clickbait, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can understand the argument. Well, Deshaun Watson was on the list. Totally get it. Deshaun Watson didn't play all last year, right? So why is he on the list if we're talking about just last year? Because they're not talking about just last year. Yeah. But ESPN knows what they're doing, man. They know what they're doing. They know, even though it's ridiculous, even though that it's ridiculous, even though that they know that that it's clickbait.
Yeah.
You're still going to click on it.
Yes.
You're still going to click on it. You're still going to you're going to react to it. They're banking on that. It gets them clicks, it gets them views, it gets them the ratings. And that's why I hate talking about that stuff, man. I absolutely do. I don't care what the top 10 list is. I don't respect their lists, right? I just don't. Like, this, who at ESPN do I really respect like that? Mina Kimes, that's about it. Dominic Foxworth, right? They don't do top 10 lists. The people that I respect don't do top 10 lists, right? So I don't care. In fact, what we should have done, you know what? We're going to do our own top 10 list. How about that? That's what we did over at Ring Kings Podcast, right? Go subscribe to Ring Kings Podcast. We didn't like the pound for pound lists that were out there. We said we are going to do our own pound for pound list. And that's exactly what we did. And in fact, we have a series coming out pretty soon. In fact, I'm gonna put part 1 out there pretty soon. We're gonna have the first 5 and then the top 5. We'll separate like that. And that's what we're gonna do every quarter. We're gonna put out our pound for pound list, because our list is way better than everybody else's. I just said that. Okay. And we can do that for quarterbacks too. We're gonna put out the lunch break hot take top 10 list. In fact, we can do it right now. Let's do it. All right. Number 1. Who you got number 1, B?
Number 1, I'll still go with Pat Mahomes.
In the galaxy. I don't care what anybody says. He is the best. He's amazing. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Number 2.
I know I just said what I just said about the top of the list, but I'm going to go Lamar. I'm not even going to go Aaron. I'm going to go Lamar.
You're not going to go Aaron?
No, I'm going to go Lamar.
I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers.
You know what? I want to see Aaron do it like Lamar does it. I want to see him do it with no receivers. How about that?
He's going to get his opportunity this year.
He's going to do it this year. But and you know what? Next year maybe he'll be above Lamar. But right now it's Lamar.
Man, I swear, Aaron Rodgers throwing that ball, like it's like, what's that movie, Wanted, where they're bending the bullets and everything, curving the bullets and everything. That's how it looks like whenever he throws that ball. I'm gonna say Aaron Rodgers number 2. Okay, back-to-back MVP, man. Look, number 2. Number 3, I got Lamar Jackson, no doubt. All right, who's your number 3? Aaron Rodgers.
It's got to be Aaron.
All right, Aaron. Number 4. Now this is the area. Who's number 4?
Number 4, that is that's where it starts to get tough. I'm going to go ahead and say, and I cannot believe a couple years ago I would have laughed in your face if you told me that this would be the list. I'm gonna go Josh Allen.
Josh Allen number 4.
Gonna go Josh Allen number 4. I think he's got a little bit of it.
He had an amazing run in the playoffs. That game against Kansas City.
Yeah.
That was great, man. Number 4, I'm gonna go with Tom Brady, man. Tom Brady's still up there.
Tom, I can't stand Tom. Like, you're 44, man. Go home. Go home and be a family man.
Number 5. Who you got? Number 5.
See, this is why you have to do a little preparation.
I know.
Stuff like this.
I'm sorry. I'm just going off the top of my head.
Yeah. Number 5.
Look, we can do an official one later. We can do an official one.
Yeah, we'll just do the top 5 right now. Then we'll do a top 10 video.
All right.
How about that?
All right.
So for number 5, this is also tough because now you're getting into the territory of guys who haven't been into the league long enough to realistically put them at that high. You know, they don't have the accomplishments versus actually thinking they're better than some of the older guys. It's like Russell Wilson, right? Russell Wilson has won the Super Bowl. He's been to another Super Bowl. I would take a few of these young guys over Russell Wilson right now.
Who?
You know, but I would take Joe Burrow. I would take Justin Herbert over Russell Wilson right now.
I wouldn't. I'm taking Russell Wilson number 5. That's my number 5.
But you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to split the difference here, and I'm going to go Dak.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go Dak. I think that Dak has all of the skill, and I think he's been kind of unfortunate in Dallas. They're still trying to put everything together, and I think eventually they will. But I think he's a supremely talented quarterback.
I agree. I'm taking Russell Wilson 5. I think the team has been, it's been awful the last couple years, right? And he's working with very. Look, he has some talented wide receivers for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's ever had an O-line there. I don't think he's ever had a good O-line.
I think he did early on, but their O-line has been deteriorating every year. Is part of the issue.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Russell Wilson, man. I think he's going to have a huge year in Denver this year, man. And in fact,
he is.
He's
gonna have a huge year, and then this is staying home. Right.
Ravens online ungatekeeper does not like that.
Here's something you don't know about Hendo. If you haven't watched his channel a lot or talked to him a lot, Hendo is a massive hater. People think that I am, but Hendo is the Yoda of hating.
Add to Potts' Dak is 10 at best. No, that's false. That's false. So, Joe Burrow is a popular choice because they made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I want to see what you do this year.
Well, that's my thing. Like I said, if I was just going on their skill, I think I would probably have Burrow and Herbert as maybe my next 2. But they haven't been doing a lot. Herbert hasn't made the playoffs yet, right? Joe Burrow, he's played one full season. It was a great season, but it was one full season. So it's a little difficult to land them in the rankings right now. And I think he's a bit past his prime. I think he's on the decline now, which is why I have him a little further down.
And the reason why, and I think Burrow is just a good quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I'm saying gotta give him one more year is because, man, we see like Jimmy G was just in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and Jimmy G, even before the Super Bowl, when Jimmy G got traded to the 49ers, a lot of people had Jimmy G as one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
6-0, baby.
Right. So that could change on a dime. So I want to see another year from Joe Burrow. I think he'll hold up, but as before I put him that high. I want to see another year. Same thing with Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert came into the league with a lot of talent around him, and he still has a talent, and he's very good. Yeah. But make the playoffs.
But Mr. I love everybody. You're all my brother. Derek Carr couldn't see his way clear to allow Justin to join him in the playoffs last year.
Listen,
all you had to do was kneel it out, Derek. What's up?
No. Nope. There can only be one. There can only be one. All right, so we'll come up with a top 10 QB list. All right. We'll put out a video on that. Maybe that'll be a little extra treat for you guys this week. All right. But that is the end of the show. All right. Yes. We're 30 minutes over. We got to start this overtime show. If you want to be a part of overtime show, let's put this up here. Let me put this up here. Bam. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. All right. If you guys little as $3 in your pocket, all right, come and hang out.
Go ahead and put it in ours.
Yes, put it in ours. Well, what better way to spend money than with us? All right. Look, Ravens online ungatekeepers. All right. Ravens online ungatekeepers. Look, I'll bring them up right there. Ravens online ungatekeepers. Subscribe. We are 17 away. 17 away. Help this man get to 1,000 subscribers tonight. I know you can do it. I know you can. I have faith in the LBHT crew. There are 33 people in here. If you're not subscribed here, make sure you subscribe as well. But there are 33 people watching right now. Hit the subscribe button. If you know somebody close by, say, hey, just help out real quick, man. Hit that subscribe button. Okay. 1,000 subscribers is a huge milestone for creators. That's when they're able to monetize. So we're not getting rich when we hit 1,000, but it's a milestone to get them on the track to start.
It's more of a feel good moment than anything else I've learned.
Look, it's a really feel good moment because that's where YouTube stops taking our money, because YouTube already puts ads on content at their leisure. But if you don't have 1,000 subscribers, they won't pay you. So I always try to push for people to get their 1,000 subscribers, because I can't stand YouTube stealing our money. And shout out to Anonymous, says outstanding show, and see you next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Anonymous.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Yes, and I will be feeling better next week. And next week, so this is the 13th. When does camp start? The 19th?
I believe so. I mean, it's towards the end of the month, I believe.
All right. So
next week maybe we'll do some camp predictions.
Yes. And maybe, no promises, maybe I'll actually show up to a training camp session. Oh, we're going to talk about that later. All right. But all right, everybody. Thank you, Yolanda. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. I feel a little better already. All right. Mr. J says, can unsubscribe then resubscribe when he needs that one more. There you go, Mr. J. There you go. That's how you do it. Aaron Butler says, thanks, Chiefs, for Odafe Oweh. Chief said, no, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
Yeah. All right, we're out of here. B, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. Patrons, give us a couple minutes to get set up. Everybody else, have a great night. Have a great week. Be safe. Hydrate. Drink your water. Okay? And we will see you next week. Peace.